They've seen so many vaginas in their lives. What's the worst that can happen? Hello, welcome back to my channel, your virtual ticket to Japan. Today we are going to be talking about going to the gynecologist in Japan, periods, contraceptives, STDs. I'm sure a lot of women want to know what it's like to go to the gynecologist in Japan. I am not like afraid to go to the gynecologist. I told myself, you know, they're doctors, they know what they're doing, they've been doing this for years, they've seen so many vaginas in their lives. What's the worst that can happen? So I've had more good experiences than bad experiences in Japan. I am still trying out some doctors here in Tokyo. It's nice to get a second opinion and to talk to other doctors and to, you know, see which one you feel really good about. Just going to one isn't always gonna cut it for me. And if you guys want to know anything about gynecologists, I will link all of the ones that I think that are good down below. I haven't gone to some of them, but I've heard good things. So I will link that down below. And my other video about doctors, a couple videos ago, I forgot to link some of the clinics, the primary care clinics and all that stuff, so I linked that in the description as well, so you guys can go back and check for just general doctors. I can't speak. There's so much to talk about, you guys. Alright, going to the gynecologist, I'm going to kind of tie in my experience and what's going to happen when you do go to a gynecologist in Japan. It is a scary thing when you go to a doctor in another country. My first experience going to a gynecologist was when I first moved to Japan in the JET program, and that was not a bad experience. I had a female friend who went with me, and I ended up getting a yeast infection, and that was like my first ever yeast infection. So I ended up going to a doctor. He was some old man, like he was super nice, he was very knowledgeable. There wasn't anything crazy. This was in Aomori, so like there was like one gynecologist. He gave me medicine and everything was good again. So that was like the first time I went to a gynecologist. I was so nervous. I was freaking out. My heart was beating. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what they want me to do. But it was nice to have a friend who was Japanese to go with me. When I moved to Nagoya, however, I had to look for an English-speaking gynecologist. I don't know too many gynecologists in Nagoya. I had one bad experience there, but when I went there, he was just so nasty. Like, he was not nice. The doctor was just so pushy. I don't know how to explain it. And he was the one who told me that PMS is not normal when it comes to having a period, which confused the hell out of me, because don't we all have cramps and like mood swings and all that stuff before our periods? Like, I'm pretty sure that's common and normal. Like, and I was like, that's really strange. I've never heard of anybody that didn't have those things. That was my story going to a really bad doctor. I was like livid when I left. I don't even remember the name of the doctor, so I can't really tell you which one it was, but he did speak English. But yeah, I never went back to him after that first visit. When you do go to a gynecologist, they are going to ask you to take off, you know, everything below the belt and put it in a basket. So you will be escorted into a private room and you can take off your clothes, put it in there, and then you'll be seated on a chair before the doctor comes in. So it's kind of like an all private thing in the beginning, and then they put a curtain over your face. So this was one of the shocking like culture shocks that I had when I went to the gynecologist. They put a curtain over your face. A lot of women get really shy about it or nervous. I actually like it. Like, I like not having to see the doctor and just getting the procedure done, whatever I'm doing, and then finish. Honestly, most clinics are pretty high tech, so everything is very up to date. Maybe the way they approach things are a little bit different, but when you do a pap smear, for example, they can see on a screen like your ovaries. It's kind of like an ultrasound. Like, you can see everything on the inside. So they take pictures of it and videos of it, and then they check to see if there's anything abnormal or whatnot. The pap smear test, the annual test that you should be getting to check for any cancerous problems or anything like that, is so easy. Like, I'm gonna tell you guys, it's literally 2 seconds and you're out. I've been doing it every single year, and I know a lot of women in Japan who come to live here do not go to the gynecologist. Please go to the gynecologist. This is important, okay? Like, you have to get checked every year. It's so important, especially as you get older. Don't make any excuses. Don't not go because of fear. Be brave and go. The other thing that was really strange at a gynecologist is they don't check for your breasts. So So when you go to the clinic, they're not gonna check for any lumps in your breast. You have to go to a separate doctor for that. And they do have English-speaking breast doctors, breast clinics, which I haven't been going to, and I should be going to. Yeah, it was really strange. Like, I was like, aren't you gonna check my boobs? I said, oh no, they don't do that here. It's very important to go to another doctor to do that, which is kind of a hassle. But you can also test or check yourself to see if there's any abnormalities, and if you feel any kind of lump, I think you guys should definitely go. Right after they do the pap smear or whatever you need to get done, you get escorted to the doctor's office, and he tells you what he's seen or if the test was okay, and sometimes they'll send you, you know, the results in the mail or whatever. So it was very simple and very easy to get through, no issues, and I've had some pretty good doctors who have listened to me. Also, one last thing I didn't mention, when you go to the gynecologist, do not bring your boyfriend. Usually they don't allow men into ladies clinics. In hospitals they do, but ladies clinics no. So just remember that if you are going to bring someone, bring somebody that's female. Moving on to contraceptives. Birth control is not really a thing in Japan. I'm just going to tell you that. A lot of people just don't do it, okay? If they do it, they use condoms. And condoms here are not a one-size-fits-all. It's honestly like if you're coming from a Western country with your husband or your boyfriend or whatever, bring condoms, because most of the time they're not gonna fit. I'm not saying that every guy has a small you-know-what, but it is very hard to find larger sizes here. A lot of my male friends from America have had such a hard time finding condoms that work. So it's good to bring some or order some somehow online. Contraceptives like birth control, there's literally only 6 choices for you. You really have to test them out before you figure out which one fits you well. Also, birth control here is extremely expensive. It's about 3,000 yen a month, which is $30 for 1 month. That really sucks, because if I want to get 3 months, it's like 9,000 yen to like $100 every 3 months. Birth control, there are only like 6 kinds. I'm gonna go through some of them for you. One is Marvelon. Marvelon, I'm gonna tell you, for me, was awful. Awful, 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 so on so many levels. That pill made me insane. I felt like I was bipolar. That's what it felt like. My mind, I felt like I was going insane. It cleared my skin completely. I had no period symptoms, but my mood, I can't even explain how I felt. Like, I felt like I was 2 different people. And I didn't know it was that for such a long time. I didn't know why I was being so moody until I figured out, like, changing my pill, all of it went away. Like, I changed my pill to something called Triquilar, and this is what I have now. It's just like a lower dose. This has been really good for me. I've been taking the pill only because I have ovarian cysts. I've had some pretty brutal periods in the past. That's why I'm on the pill mostly. You can get an IUD, and an IUD is something that goes, I think, is it in your arm? Or maybe that's an IUS. Something that gets put into your body that's like plastic, and these are like the safest, I think. A lot of my friends have this, and it lasts for like 10 years or something. So you can get these only at one clinic that I found, which I will link down below, and the doctor graduated from Michigan State University, which is where I graduated from. So I kind of want to see her and see what she thinks. The cost of getting it is so expensive. It's like literally $1,000 to like $600 to $1,000 to get these, but it's worth it because I spend 9,000 yen every 3 months on this pill. If you can just use condoms, that's honestly like the best way. Instead of harming your body, I think that's like the best way to go, is just condoms. Some clinics, before you get birth control, you have to get a blood test every time you get a new pack, which really sucks. Or every time you go to the doctor, you have to get a blood test, which was so annoying. That was one of the clinics that I had to endure, was a blood test every single time I needed new packs, and it was so annoying. But it is a good thing because they check to see if everything's working correctly, because some birth controls can cause blood clots and problems inside your body, which is something that could be the culprit of things that are happening to me now. Just weigh in your options before you get these things done, because you don't know what it's going to do to you long term. Anyway, you might have to get blood tested. Not all clinics do this, which is thank God. I go to a clinic called K Ladies Clinic, and it's in Shinjuku. It's walk-in space, there's no appointments, very quick, very easy to get in. The doctor seems to explain things to me very, very well, and I really like him. So, and you can email him about any questions that you have. He's fluent in English. He's easy to access, and yeah, I enjoyed the clinic. Morning after pill. You cannot just go into a store and get the morning after pill, which is a very hectic process. So if you do mess up, you need to go first thing in the morning to get it at the clinic. And luckily enough, this clinic that I go to currently does have it. It is expensive AF. It is not like $50, it's not $30, it's $200 freaking dollars just to get the pill. It's so annoying. They do have it. You do have to go to the clinic. The clinic I go to, like I said, is walk-in. So if you do need it, I will link that down below. STD tests. They do have STD tests, and I go to a primary care doctor to get STD testing, and they do have it at an international, it's called like International Tokyo Clinic, and it's in Shimbashi, I think. And they are amazing. I just found them recently, and they do everything. They do allergy testing, they do blood testing, they do physicals, they do STD testing, they do everything. Even if you're traveling, like they do, if you're traveling in Japan, go to this clinic. I don't know how expensive it is without insurance, Japanese insurance. I don't know if they take any other insurance. You might want to call ahead. They speak English fluently, everybody there. They treated me like family. Like I really, really, really like this doctor, so I highly recommend them. They do STD testing, all of them. I will link that down below. Getting your period in Japan. Just gonna say there's literally 2 brands of tampons. So if you're looking for tampons, you have to choose between one of the tampon brands that they have. And it sucks, but you know, it gets the job done. I never really had a problem with it. The only problem that I have with it is how freaking expensive it is. It's like $10 for 1 box of tampons. It's ridiculous. So pads, literally, I'm shocked. Pads are like built for giants. I don't know why. I think it's to have like extra coverage or something, but I'm like, who wears this? Nobody is this big in Japan. It's ridiculous. If you go down the aisles, like the pad tampon aisle in Japan, you'll see tons of huge pads. I'm shocked. I'm just shook, like, by the whole experience of seeing this. But yeah, they have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of pads. They have thin pads, they have big pads, they have night pads, they have all sorts of pads. Japan loves pads. They don't like to stick things in their vagina. I mean, when you do go and check out, for some odd, ridiculous reason, they think it's embarrassing, so they put it in paper bags. I never want a paper bag, okay? Like, what a waste of paper, like, to wrap up a pad. Like, I'm not embarrassed. I'm a woman. It's so much more embarrassing when they do that than to just put it in a bag or just give it to you, okay? Like, men know that women have periods in Japan, okay? It's not like they're oblivious to it or they don't know what it is. Like, really? I don't know. Alright, I think I covered everything. If you do have any questions or want to know any information about gynecologists in Japan, just let me know. Comment down below. If you need any advice, I would be happy to talk to you about it. I don't know anything about giving birth in Japan. Sorry, haven't been pregnant yet, so go to the gynecologist every year, please. Don't miss that, because that's so important for your health as a woman. You should always take care of yourself and not be afraid, or at least have somebody come with you. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this helped you out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more videos like this, and don't forget to share this video to anybody who is interested in moving to Japan and who is a female or married or whatever. It's good to share videos. Let's share. Sharing is caring, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!